damn it, boy. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome back to another episode of Honda Street Garage. I'm very excited because today we are putting the 5-speed transmission in today. Now, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and give a list of all the parts and the stuff you need to look for if you're going to be doing an auto to 5-speed on an EF. So you need a manual transmission, flywheel, clutch, and also manual flywheel bolts is also important. Matching shift linkage. Axles usually are the same, not in every case though, but for the most part they are the same. EF, you need to replace the rear mount and rear mount transmission bracket. You also need the manual transmission mount. You'll also obviously need a pedal set, clutch cable if it's the cable for the EF's, corresponding ECU. You have to do a little bit of wiring to trick the computer to think that it's in park. We'll get to that later. So here we are, we're back at the same spot that we were before. I've got the flywheel on. I've cleaned the flywheel up already. I'm gonna go ahead and put the clutch on, and then once we get the clutch on, then we can start to put the transmission in. We're gonna get busy on this, so let's get started. So I've got the flywheel cleaned up, and I've got the clutch and pressure plate on. You can see I've got an alignment tool in there. Now I'm gonna torque down the pressure plate bolts to 19 foot-pounds in a crisscross pattern. So I got my torque wrench here. Can't really. Okay, that's one. I'm gonna do a crisscross pattern. Now I'm trying to put the rear mount in, which I had a light, but it just died. So I'm trying to put the rear mount in. And it's very difficult to get the bolts placed into where they go. So I'm gonna use a little trick here. I got a magnet and I'm gonna stick the bolts on the end of, straight. Then reach down there and thread it in there. I can't even see it, I'm sure you guys can't. Okay, so I finally got that rear mount in. I've got the transmission on. I don't have the rear bracket hooked up or any of the mounts hooked up to the transmission. So I'm about to jack the transmission up and install this manual transmission mount here. It's actually got a stud that sticks out of the bottom and then a nut goes on top. But I'm gonna put the long bolts through the mount first. So we're gonna make sure that it's threaded in there, but not tighten it down all the way or anything. Then we're gonna raise it up and get it into place. There it goes. It's in there. Okay, we're gonna put a bolt in there. Hold it, now I'm going to put the nut underneath. We can take the jack, drop it a little bit. Now we can put the 3 bolts in the rear bracket here. All bolted in. Okay, I kind of jumped ahead of the gun here just because I'm ready to get this done and find out if it runs. I've hooked up the clutch cable here. I've hooked up the ground wire, that's very important. I never really disconnected any of the harness from the engine, so we're good on that. I installed the starter and the starter wires. So technically, If we hook a battery in here, we should find out if this thing will run. I haven't put any of the axles in or the shift linkage, but it is all fully bolted in, so it looks normal and level. I don't know if the car has fuel. We can crack the fuel filter to see if anything comes out of there. Obviously, that'll need to be changed eventually, but at this point we could hook up the manual ECU, which I have here. The good news is that it plugs right up. I'm honestly tempted to, you know, hook everything up on the fuse box, put a battery in here, and see if the motor cranks. All right, so we're hooking the battery up. We're gonna turn the motor over. We got the ECU unplugged, actually. We got lights on. We're gonna spin the motor over so that we get oil through it and prime it. See what happens. Got the automatic box plugged up so I can.
Sound like poker music.
She should have some oil through it. Plug the ECU up for Daddy.
People are gonna think you're actually my dad. You know that,
Hey,
right?
Daddy. All right. You can hear it priming. Okay.
Hold on.
What?
Alright, go ahead, man. Get some starter fluid.
I'll do some brake cleaner in there. On the ground in front of the car. See if there's any spark. May not have any spark.
It arced.
Alright, I think I felt it kind of putt.
Well, I'm saying it arced, so.
Yeah. You've been starting a long time. Like, hit the throttle, like open the throttle up. Okay, so we sprayed some brake cleaner in here and it was non-flammable. So we just went to the store to get some flammable brake cleaner or starter fluid. Alright, now we're gonna hit it. You ready? Woo! She runs! She just ain't squirting no fuel out of them dirty.
Hold on, fam. Hold on, fam.
Oh! Oh!
Alright, go. Move in.
Oh, hey, oh.
Let's go.
I hope that.
Come on, man. Give us some love. You trying now. Oh, man. You farted. We know you were.
We know she got compression.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just gotta get her cleaned up is all it is. Okay, so we checked to see if we have spark and the spark plugs were not sparking, but we got spark out of the wires. So I just went and got a fresh set of NGK plugs. I'm gonna throw them in and then see if we can get this thing running again. Okay, here we go. New plugs in. Oh!
I'll tell him like 2 people about their mom too. I'll tell him.
I mean, he might, because you know, some people down here do this Mayday only, and it's not. Hello, fam.
Oh!
She farted smoke.
Well, yeah, because she backfired.
Floor it before you.
I can't touch the damn gas pedal.
What? There.
Okay. Yeah, now you're gonna say my last name.
She got one cylinder at least, I think. One cylinder at least.
Damn it, boy.
She coming, she coming. Oh! Oh! Damn it, boy! Woo, boy!
It's a love, and it don't knock. Man,
Hard red on cold side.
Uh-oh.
here comes the bad gas.
Here goes the bad gas. Oh, she's gonna work it out now. Uh-oh! Hey! Sometimes you just need new plugs, cuz. She sound pretty good.
I don't know. She sounds like she needs some oil.
Yeah, she sound like she needs some gas. I'm gonna cut it off.
Probably best.
Oh!
Damn, she stinks.
she got some old gas we gotta burn her up
That's
now.
that non-flammable shit.
Boy, we got it running, cuz. Now we just gotta get it shifting, put the axles in, shift linkage.
It works.
Yeah, I'm super excited it works. So, it works, we got it running. It sounds generally healthy, definitely needs some fresh gas. Now we're gonna put everything back together, get it on the ground and see if she drives, cause she's 5-speed. Okay, so I just went ahead and put together, put the cross member on, put the axles in, got the forks on the suspension in, got all that stuff put together. The only thing left to do is I have to put a front mount on the transmission. All the ones that we have are busted and old, so I'm gonna go to the store in the morning and pick one of those up. Also, we have to install the shift linkage, and to do that we have to drill 2 holes so that the two 12mm bolts can stick through. We put 2 nuts on top of it, and then I've got to figure out this situation for being able to start the car. We did obviously get it to run, which I'm super excited about. It's been off for a little while. Let's see if we can get it to start back up. Fuel pump's primed. Purrs like a kitten. Get the gas pedal. Sounds awesome. So all she needed was a fresh set of plugs, oddly enough. So yeah, so it's pretty much gonna be just putting it all back together, getting it on the ground, putting the interior back in it. We're gonna be hitting that probably tomorrow or Sunday. Yeah, so next step is putting the shift linkage in, which I need to grab a drill for. Also, that it's a pretty straightforward process. If you know how to remove a transmission, you know how to put one back on. When you go to put the transmission on, I also had to put the transmission on by myself, which is a little tricky. Usually you have to get it the splines into the clutch, and sometimes it can fight you. Also, make sure you don't double up on dowel pins if you take a transmission off and put another one on. Basically rig the wiring so the car thinks that it's in park all the time. I could wire it up to the neutral safety switch, but just to get it running for the time being, I'm just gonna probably jump the 2 wires, which can be a little dangerous for some new people, but back in the day, in the 88 models, they didn't even have a neutral safety switch. You just had to not be stupid and not start a car with it in gear. We're gonna fit 12mm bolts with a drill. We gotta drill some holes to fit the 2 12mm bolts for the shifter.
Boom! We have light. Woohoo! Get her. Pour her out. Oh yeah. Oh God, did I dropped that on your face, boy?
Bore these holes out a little bit.
I think you should just keep it just like this, man. No seats, nothing. That's JDM as fuck.
What we've got going on here is everything is just about ready. I've got to go to the store and get some oil for the transmission to put that in. Pro tip, always drain your transmission. If it's been sitting outside or sitting anywhere, you never know, there's probably water in it or old oil. So always drain it, even though if someone tells you it's empty, drain that thing. I've got the wheels on, I've got everything ready to go. I went ahead and put the dash in and put the steering column back in, as well as tucked away the ECU under the original plate. So I've got the shifter in here. Shift gears, no problem. This is what we're gonna have to deal with a little bit later once we start putting everything back together. I'm having an issue with the door window. I think the track's messed up. I just pulled that out, but I've run out of time tonight to deal with that. But hopefully, you know, we'll get that straight. So I figured I would actually combine all the information in the videos in 2 days. I was able to use the speed sensor from the automatic transmission, even though I haven't put it in yet. It seems like it'll work fine. Looks exactly the same. Also, I got the front mount put on. Now I'm just gonna have to wrap it up for tonight and you know, get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Click a like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you haven't already. Remember to follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Oh yeah, and I also just broke my phone. So I'm gonna have to go get a new screen on that. Anyway guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out and keep living your dream.